Hello, welcome to another Soulprint Mini. Today I want to take a look at Kamala Harris um, and just see what's going on with her. She really has come under um, like a lot of fire, or there's a lot of negativity that swirls around her. And I, I'm not exactly sure why. Um, of course, I'm Canadian, so, that could be part of it. Um, but it just feels as if she has sort of been on a bit of a rocky road. And I want to take a look at her and just see, what this looks like going forward. Is she going to be Joe Biden's running mate going forward? Is she at some point going to exchange her title of vice president to Madam President? I just want to take a peek and see how she's doing in this mini. Before we get started, thank you ever so much for being here. I'm incredibly grateful for the support. I love the comments. I like the thumbs up, the views. Thank you very, very much. Don't forget to put your questions in this video and yesterday's and tomorrow's in terms of, questions for the pendulum on Friday. If you are looking for a private reading, I want you to go into the drop box below and there will be an email address that is soulprint888@gmail.com. Don't hesitate to just send me out a quick little email saying, you want reading information, and I will get the information that you need to know back to you. All right, let's focus in on Madame Vice President, shall we? And see what kind of energy surrounds her now, and kind of what kind of energy is going to be with her over the next period of time, right? Till the next election, perhaps beyond that. Let's just take a look and see what we can see. Um, should something happen to Joe Biden in his second term, she would then step up and become the president. Because she is a woman, and she's definitely not part of the old white boys club, it's going to create for her a hard situation, a difficult situation. That is why, or one of the reasons why, it's super important to get as many Democrats in as many places during the next election as possible. Because if the Dems hold the House and they hold the Senate, and, it's going to make her job easier because she's going to have the support of her party in all three branches of the government. And, there are still some really significant things that the Dems want to get done. Not all of it can get done in this term, but they definitely have a list of not only stuff they want to get done between now and the end of this term, but definitely in the next one. All right. Kamala Harris, current trajectory. Harris, current trajectory. Harris, current trajectory. Here we go. Okay. So what we're looking at here is her first four cards are very, very strong. So she has the Eight of Wands. She has the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Star. These are her first four cards. Okay, so the messaging around this is that you have a woman who knows herself. This is a woman who is very aware of her capabilities. She is able to manage and control to some, her assets, and her part of her assets, of course, are her political, time in politics. Whether she was in California, being a what was she? Attorney General, maybe. But she is not somebody who doesn't know herself, and she is not somebody who actually really doubts her capabilities, and that's a good and positive and powerful thing. Communications is interesting, that Eight of Wands, because it almost feels as if there's been like a lot of sort of almost like quiet maligning going on, right? Comments being made by the Republicans, sort of like, well, if something happens to Joe and she becomes the president, we don't want somebody like that. Like, look at what she did in California. Look at her policies back then. And the problem with that is 95% of people aren't actually going to go look at her policies. They're just going to assume because somebody said, oh, they're not good, that it's not good. And of course, that becomes part of the problem. Mainstream, right? Because people listen to the negative. They don't fact check it. They don't get their own information. And then it starts to multiply and multiply and multiply. But it also feels like there's going to be sort of a pushback on that in terms of her own marketing and her own messaging. It feels very much like they're going to kind of continue to push her into public view a little bit more, as certainly as 2024 unfolds, because it's really important that people get a sense of her and understand. And the thing of it is as we go, into the 4-5 energy dimension, as sort of the dinosaurs drop off the earth or die off or get relegated somewhere, it's really important that we have that sort of strong, independent, caring woman, that becomes what we are looking for, because this shift that is taking place away from this patriarchal society, you're going to need strong women in positions of power to try to combat some of the stuff that has been allowed to go on, certainly since, 2016. And listen, it was going on before that. What happened with Trump is he exploded it. So now nobody could look away anymore. You just had to see it and face it. This is the thing about her. She has a lot of ambition, but she is not going to climb on Joe's back to get it. Okay? She is aware that there is a significant possibility that somewhere in that second term, she may very well find herself in the Oval Office. And mentally, intellectually, spiritually, she's preparing herself to be ready for that should it happen. And there's, and I think that that's a good thing, right? Because it would seem to me that when you're vice president, one of your primary functions is to be able to step in when the president can't. And so it's really important that she has that sense that, yeah, you know what? I can handle this. It's under control. I got it. There's going to be, like, as I mentioned before, like sort of this digging up of her past, that kind of thing. But make no mistake, she has a plan. And not only does she have a plan, but the Democrats sort of have this plan that they're starting to very quietly put into place because nobody wishes Joe harm. Nobody wants to see him sort of succumb. But there is an awareness that there have to be, a plan B, right? Um, there's a reason why important people, very public people, sort of, I guess, like almost like on an annual basis, the media, the newspapers, whatever, update their kind of biographies so that should something happen to them, they're not running around trying to get this information together. So in a kind of morbid way, year by year, important people have their obituaries updated. And it would be foolish for the Democrats to not be mindful of that and start putting things in place. As I said earlier, she is not going to walk on Joe's back, but if she is called, she will serve, and she will serve to the best of her ability. You've got the Four of Wands and the Four of Swords, okay? So there is a potential. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen, but there is a potential due to illness or other. She may very well find herself being sworn into a higher office. And when you're vice president, there aren't too many higher offices to go, right? It's as if she is being prepared now for that eventuality. And if memory serves, when Joe Biden first announced her as a running mate, which I called quite a while before he did that, I sort of remember him saying something to the effect of, should she have to step in, I am fully confident that she can handle the job. So, this is not something that even he is oblivious to. Listen, they're going to come out after her. But again, she is strong and she is independent and she handles power. Like she is able to handle positions of power, and she is able to it's interesting because they're showing me Nancy Pelosi. And it's like, how Nancy Pelosi, even when she had like this really, really slim margin, kept the House Democrats together. It's that same energy. When it comes right down to it, she will be able to corral the Democrats and keep the agenda moving forward. And there will be a lot of there's going to be a push to fulfill the Biden agenda. I, right now, do not see her running for president after the fact. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not saying it can happen. It's almost like it's too far down the road, and it's kind of maybe a thought that rotates around in her brain every once in a while. But there's definitely not plans or that kind of thing in terms of, okay, well, if I become president, this is what I'm going to do in what would that be, 2028, to hold on to the presidency. Like that's just not part of it. She is a seeker of truth. And that is her strength. That is her power. And that is her passion. And so, should that which nobody really wants to have happen, you can rest assured that she is going to have good fortune and protection surrounding her. She is going to do a far more amazing job than anybody thinks she will. And again, she's sort of like the woman for the job at this time. So, that kind of strikes me as um, a good thing, a good thing. And I'm not lecturing and I'm not any of that, but women need to remember to support women. Um, Sometimes we don't. And listen, I've been a woman for a really long time. I'm telling you, we can get really catty. But there are times where we just need to set aside this grievance or that grievance and support women. And if that woman is Kamala Harris, that's where we need to put our support. Just saying. All right. Thank you very, very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and sometimes this week, possibly on Friday. So if you don't have that notification bell clicked, make sure you click it because there is going to be a video coming out. If not this Friday, then in addition to the pendulum, if not, then early in the following week, the video that we did with regards to Georgia politics. Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you very much. Go have a really, really good day. Be kind to yourself. Take good care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.